Hey, this is vital info. Like, I don't I don't know where everybody is in their life today, but for the people that's right there with me, hey man, this video is gonna be about vital information. You you guys gotta, man, if you trying to make it and you trying to like stand on your own too, stand 10 toes down about your whatever it is you got going on in life, you have to control the climate. Something that I've noticed, and I've said this in many videos, I'm 30. I'm a 30-year-old man. So I've had a lot of time to kind of get a vibe and get a good feel for different people. And to add to that, I'm a 30-year-old black man. So being a black man in America, you guys already know how we not necessarily get treated, but how we have to hold ourselves in the company of others that are not black Americans. Or excuse me, that are not black American men, right? I'm a grown man. I've been considering myself a grown man since I was like 13. So I've been able to pick up on how people perceive and how they intake my presence for a while now. And I'd say ever since maybe 2 years ago, really recently, extremely recently, I've picked up on a new code that people that are not black American men, they just kind of adopt it, you know. Whereas as a black man, there's certain boundaries that we already know, you know, if I cross this boundary, it's going to be a nasty outcome. If I do this the wrong way, if I rub this person the wrong way, it's going to be a bad outcome. We are ingrained to know this code. However, this video is not even to complain about that. Like, I could do a series complaining about that, just that strain on your life as a human. However, that's not me. I'm not a complainer. Like, what I am is somebody that pinpoints obstacles and I get over them. And the obstacle I'm seeing is how people try to control the climate when they interact with you. If they feel like they are above, or that you are simply below, they will try to treat you like you don't understand, or treat you like you don't get English. They try to treat you almost like you're disabled, like you don't get it. And I do understand that there's ways around it. There's brute force ways around it. You can just be like a dick and just give the world what you want and F who don't like it. But like I said before, you can rub people the wrong way and end up having a nasty outcome. So like, walking as a black man in America, walking around as a dick, like, you just leaving too much room open for people to not rock with you and to just basically get you out of here. So if you're somebody that, you know, you don't get perceived the way you like, it's better for you to kind of just go with the flow. However, I've been noticing going with the flow with different people's temperaments is honestly a detriment to your goals. Why? Because people don't really want you to level up. Now, I want to preface this. They might not they honestly might not care if you level up, but they don't want you to be at a level above them if they're in a situation where they got to be working in tandem with you, or just some people is just interacting with you. They don't want that because they already look at us as black men as a threat. So them not wanting to be perceived as weak, they go ahead and, like I said, they adopt these new codes that it's almost like a language barrier. And kind of to get into the nitty gritty of exactly what I noticed. And now, like, don't take this video as me, oh, I'm a black man and I'm just trying to be a pro-black, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's not none of that. Because honestly, even if you're not black, but you're somebody that feels, what is it called? Underprivileged or whatever, you could pick up on some of these cues and kind of feel it too. You know, it don't have to just apply to black men. But I know me as a black man, that's honestly what makes people qualify themselves to treat me how they do. Because everything else, every action I take in this world is to better myself. So I know it ain't my actions. I know it's not the person that I'm portraying myself to be. It has to do with just who I am. So like I was saying, the type of cues that I pick up on, and this is like honestly so simple that it's like who would complain and bring this up. However, I notice it too often and with too many different people that have nothing to do with each other. It's just something that's honestly known amongst certain groups. And like I said before, I've been noticing it for probably the last couple years. Could have been going on more than that, or it could have just started and just become a new natural thing. However, I notice people, when, say you're having a conversation with somebody and you either bring something up that they don't want to talk about, or they bring something up they don't want you to know about, people are very quick to change the subject and kind of spin the topic at hand in a very innocent and harmless way, to where if you go against that grain, you're almost setting yourself up to be taken as abrasive. Because why are you still talking about something that this certain person is not talking about? That's something I've noticed that happens a lot. I'm not sure how far it goes in this world, who all does this type of tactic, but I noticed it's a weird type of tactic to control the flow of just what's going on. And normally I wouldn't care too much about anything to do with that. However, I feel like if the right person does something like that at the right time, it can leave you to be casted out as if you don't know what you're talking about, or as if you're an aggressive type of a person. So to my black gents out there, and honestly to anybody else that feels maybe left out of a loop, mind your P's and Q's. Stay sharp. If you bring up a topic and somebody totally dismisses it and brings up something else and expects you to move on with them, find a way to stay the course on your train of thought. I'm not saying argue with people. I'm not saying cut people off. I'm not saying treat people how they treat you. I'm going to always stand by treat people how you want to be treated. However, stand firm in your train of thought and just take note of who's doing what and when they're doing it and why they're doing it. You do that, I guarantee you're going to be able to continue to excel, because that's just a roadblock. People like that, they're weak. They're weak. If you're going to use word games and you're not a lawyer, you're weak. Like, only people that are like proficient to play word games and find loopholes in conversations are lawyers. And if somebody's doing that and they're not a lawyer, that's probably because they don't want no smoke. So they're going to play word games to kind of try to line you up to make you seem confused about what you're speaking about. But yeah, man, that's my 2 cents for the day. Y'all thought I wasn't going to upload today, but, I've been working on some homework, so it's a late night for me. However, stay sharp, y'all. Like, it's some real haters out there, and the game has evolved. And people are okay with leaving you in the dust. Beware of those people that try to control the narrative, that try to control every little thing. Like, those type of people are kind of, you judge them how you want to judge them, but I know how I judge them, and I don't really rock with that. But yeah, man. Peace out. Thank you for watching my video. Shit, tune in with me tomorrow. We're gonna have some more topics to talk about. I think the DC franchise and the Warner Brothers sale has been making some progress. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, man, peace out. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my last video. Subscribe. Peace out.